I think Florida's going to fire Dan Mullen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Why don't we watch videos instead of class today?
We're going to watch a video.
Football highlights.
LSU be that close to
Because Alabama's offense isn't very good.
Because they got Bill O'Brien. That was the dumbest
All right.
hire of all time.
Pay attention. Oh, I should probably put it on the big screen here for you guys.
Yeah,
Every time.
nothing feels better than a bunch of pissed off Cajuns who have nothing to lose.
He's not wrong.
U.S. Air Force combat controller and the SEALs are attempting to rescue their lost teammate. You'll watch Chapman's heroic actions as he saves the lives of his entire SEAL team and then another 18 members of a quick reaction force, earning America's highest award, the Medal of Honor. Chapman and the SEALs exfil their MH-47 helicopter. John is the second individual to exit and immediately moves in the direction of the summit. He can be seen moving off to the right of the screen, alone. The team is taking heavy fire from every direction, as indicated by the arrows, as Chapman begins engaging targets. You can see spent cartridges ejecting from his M4. Chapman then begins closing with the enemy, forcing his way upslope in knee and thigh-deep snow. He is constantly under fire as he does this. Chapman's team leader begins to close on Chapman, following his trail through the snow. The dark mass above Chapman is a fortified bunker containing two enemy fighters, each armed with AK-47s, who are firing down on the team in the darkness. This bunker will come to be known as Bunker Number 1. To the left of the tree and Bunker 1 is another gray mass. This is a rock outcropping that came to be called the Boulder. Between Bunker 1 and this boulder can be seen the body of slain SEAL Neil Roberts, the man Chapman and the others are attempting to recover. Chapman, still alone and closest to the enemy, pauses to engage targets as his team leader follows him, but never actually catches up with him. Chapman, on his own, now makes the decision to charge directly into the enemy bunker, despite withering point-blank fire. Chapman, now literally on top of the enemy, engages the two combatants and kills them, saving the lives of the remaining SEALs. He does this from a distance of no more than 10 feet. These actions, by themselves, earned him his first Medal of Honor. He then climbs into and takes control of the bunker. Having cleared the immediate threat, Chapman is then joined by his team leader in Bunker 1. You can then see Chapman and his team leader engaging the next bunker, known as Bunker 2, which is situated to the left edge of the screen. This bunker, manned by a handful of Chechen and Uzbek fighters, also contains a heavy PKM machine gun, hand grenades, and rocket-propelled grenades. John Chapman is shot twice at this time in the torso and collapses, incapacitated. You are now looking at a new angle, and at the left of the screen can be seen the two-man fire team and team leader on top of the boulder. Just below it is Bunker 1 with the mortally wounded Chapman. One SEAL can be seen firing his modified M60 machine gun from the hip into Bunker 2 on the right side of the screen until he is struck by grenade shrapnel and tumbles 10 feet off the top of the boulder, collapsing at the feet of his team leader, thus setting off a chain of events that would lead to the SEALs abandoning Chapman on the summit. The wounded SEAL and the team leader can be seen conferring about his injuries. Moments later, the SEALs decide to retreat from the summit because their position is untenable in the face of continued massive enemy firepower. They can be seen moving toward the right side of the screen and passing the body of Neil Roberts. Unfortunately, the SEALs do not pass John Chapman, who is above them and inside Bunker 1. This angle shows three SEALs in a triangle. The larger black heat signature is a smoke grenade. Just to its left is a donkey and dead Al-Qaeda fighter killed by Chapman. The steepness of the mountain can be seen as the SEALs begin to slide down the near sheer face. team leader, desperate for relief and now with 2 wounded teammates, asks for uncontrolled airstrikes from an orbiting Air Force AC-130 gunship. The impacts you see are from 105mm howitzer rounds being fired onto the ridge top in order to save the remaining SEALs. Because neither the SEALs nor gunship know Chapman is alive, he is experiencing these detonations from his position. At approximately 5:20 in the morning,
Drooling over houses is great. If you want to go next level, check out the Dream Mortgages on Zillow Home Loans.
Real truck people get more from the great outdoors with the accessories.
Chapman recovers and begins to engage the enemy. Bunker 1 is on the right side center of the screen and Bunker 2 to the left near the screen center. It will never be known what caused his incapacitation and recovery. Of the 2 rounds that originally wounded him, at least one was mortal, and at this time he is experiencing severe blood loss and shock. Despite that, he begins his one-man stand against 24 enemy combatants. During this time, Chapman initiates a series of radio calls, many of which are heard by a fellow combat controller and teammate of his and Delta Force operators on a nearby summit. Despite this combat controller's replies, Chapman never acknowledges whether because of damage to his equipment or himself will never be known. This new angle and footage shows Chapman at the top, identified by the green dot under the tree at Bunker 1. The lower center of the screen shows the first enemy fighter who is about to charge Chapman in the hopes of killing the American. The timestamp at the bottom shows it is now 6:05 in the morning and fully light. He's been fighting alone now for 40+ minutes and has received more gunshot and shrapnel wounds as a result of the fierce combat. This scene shows the second of several enemy charges. In this stunning display of determination and courage, Chapman can be seen fighting hand-to-hand with the fighter. In the larger screen display can be seen additional enemy moving on to the summit. But right now, John Chapman is fighting for his life. 6 minutes later, in this new shot, Chapman can hear another helicopter approaching the summit. He is in the bottom center of the screen underneath the tree and can be seen in the magnified inset box as he begins his desperate final stand to save the lives of the 18 men on the helicopter. The red dots are enemy fighters. John begins engaging the enemy in multiple directions and is rapidly approaching the last of his ammunition. The helicopter contains a quick reaction force comprised of Rangers, pararescuemen, and another combat controller. It is now 6:13 and the helicopter is short final. The enemy is desperately trying to displace Chapman so they can put heavy weapons or rocket-propelled grenades in Bunker 1 while simultaneously engaging the helicopter. With the choice to save his life or the lives of his unknown comrades, Chapman makes the decision to climb out of the bunker and begin firing in multiple directions as can be seen in the inset. Suffering from as many as a dozen wounds, Chapman is in fact already in the process of dying. As he fights, the helicopter is struck by a rocket-propelled grenade and makes a remarkable controlled crash just below Chapman and the summit. Chapman, now off-screen, continues to cover his comrades as they pour out of the stricken helicopter. Some of them are fatally shot as they exit. These images, with Chapman fighting the enemy at close quarter, are the last to show him alive and in this heroic act, thus qualifying for his second Medal of Honor. Ultimately, Chapman would expend all but the last few rounds of his ammunition, until, finally, after 16 bullet and shrapnel wounds, Chapman succumbs when he is shot through the heart. We will never know his final thoughts or words, but what we do know is his decisions and actions single-handedly saved the lives of 23 comrades. For more information about John Chapman's amazing story and the details about this mission, visit danschillingbooks.com or your favorite book retailer to obtain a copy of the Chronicle of his life, Alone at Dawn.
Thoughts? What do you think?
It's pretty heroic.
Heroic, dude. Yeah. Yeah, good. What else?
Takes a lot to earn one medal of honor, too.
Yeah, they only gave him one. Nobody had, and no airman in the Air Force had been given a Medal of Honor since Vietnam. this was the first, and it was many years later. Many years later. It takes a long, long time. There's a few reasons to that, but we'll get into it. What else? Yes, sir.
It's really interesting that it was actually recorded.
First one ever recorded. This factors into all of it. So you never leave a man behind. And the SEALs left. This also factored into why he didn't get a Medal of Honor for a long time. The SEALs didn't want to admit that they made a mistake, which they did. If you get into the book, what they think is one of the SEALs actually kind of stumbled over Chapman, but thought it was an Al-Qaeda fighter, and didn't realize that it was Chapman, and probably could have pulled him out of there. When a SEAL dies, they have a wall of honor. The only non-SEAL to ever be put on that wall is John Chapman. What else you got, Dan?
What did the force that came in afterwards on the down helicopter, did they successfully attack and like?
Several of them died on their way out, but he saved the lives of the others. Yeah. Without him doing what he did at the end, that chopper probably goes down on the way in, and probably all of them die.
They're so focused on Chapman rather than.
Yeah, they were trying to get. The reason they landed there was they didn't know how bad this is right after 9/11. These are like some of the first boots on the ground in Afghanistan. They didn't know how bad the enemy fire was there. They didn't know how many people were there. And so when they hit the ground, it was all hell breaks loose. Right? And you see him charge the enemy. Like literally, no holds barred, pins his ears back, goes right at him, which is remarkable. What else?
What was the purpose of the mission in the first place?
So what he does as a combat controller is which is Special Forces in the Air Force. As a combat controller, you go in and basically you are air traffic control but you stay on the ground and you got to coordinate all the attacks and everything. So when you see the shells getting fired,
He's calling those in.
yeah, but he's not, which is the disadvantage. So the reason you have a combat controller is because they can talk to the pilots and tell them where to strike, what's coming in. They are literally the deadliest force in the armed services altogether. The guy who wrote it is a combat controller, which helps a lot for the insight and all that stuff. But because Chapman's down and the SEALs are under fire and one of them's hurt, the guy that was dead that they're trying to get had fallen out of the helicopter as it got hit with RPGs when they were trying to land. It got hit with two. And actually, he falls out, they leave, they decide to go back and try to get him, and that's why they were coming back there. What else? What do we think, Danny?
Another stupid question.
You're not. You only get stupid answers.
I was just wondering, is he so a combat controller for the Air Force? Is that TAC P? Or is that
Different.
Different?
Yeah. Similar in some of their work, but yeah, combat controllers are different than tactics. Yep. Combat control training, argumentative, just as hard as SEAL training. Some of the stuff they do. Extremely technical in the training too, knowing how to call in airstrikes and all that stuff. Yeah. What else? What do you get out of this, Nolan?
I mean, did he have a family?
Yep. Wife and daughter. What else? What's your takeaway? Danny?
I know I spoke a million times. My takeaway is that even when he was left alone on his own, he knew he was by himself and there wasn't much light. He was probably going to die. He didn't give up. He didn't stop.
Correct.
And because he knew he could continue to help people who were coming in. He didn't stop fighting. Like even when he knew he was like going to die.
Yep. Yep. What else? Someone else. What's the point? Why'd I show you?
Perseverance.
There's two things here, okay? One is one thing that you guys always like to say, it's who you are when nobody's looking, right? Honestly, that's pretty easy. The harder one. Who are you when everyone is looking? Right? Chapman hits the ground with a bunch of SEALs. Certified badasses, right? They can handle themselves. First one out, first one to fight. Like, just on his own, what he does out of the exit of the helicopter. Like I said, he literally earned 2 medals of honor. They didn't apply for 2 because it's even harder. Okay? But that's what he earned based on the qualifying actions. And it was a nightmare of paperwork. It took years. Okay? It took years. Right? He doesn't know that, so that footage all comes from a drone that happened to be circling the whole time. Right? So it never left. That's why this is the first one ever recorded. That's why the footage is what it is, and it, you know, they had to study it, figure it all out. You actually have on the ground, you wear a blinking infrared sensor. So if you have night vision goggles, which we do, we typically own the night, U.S. Armed Forces. You can't see it to the naked eye, but his starts blinking again when he gets up. And then he starts making calls, which we could hear, but he couldn't hear us responding. That's why they start to go back into him. But it's called Alone at Dawn because the guy got shot twice in the gut. He's laying there. This is at 10,000 feet, by the way. Have you ever, like, who's from Texas, ever go up to Colorado? He starts sucking wind. You were half the distance that he was at, all right? And all his training was actually done here in Texas. I think he's from here, if I remember correctly. Right. This is at 10,000 feet. Right. He wakes up in the bunker, shot twice, alone. As the sun's coming up, hence alone at dawn. Never supposed to leave anybody behind. Then he hears the helicopter and starts fighting. Right. To his death. Couple reasons. One, who are you when nobody's looking? Who are you when everybody's looking? All right. Hopefully, at no point in your career do you have something that's challenging or devastating or dramatic. But this is a microcosm of what's going to happen in your life, right? You're going to be challenged. So how do you handle it? Right? How do you handle it when family or friends or coworkers are looking to you to respond? To me, honestly, it's easier when nobody's looking. Yeah, I can be a good person and decide if I did the right thing, or I can be a piece of shit and it didn't hurt anybody. But who are you when everybody's looking? So how do we handle that? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Just go balls to the wall.
Charge right at it? Is it hard?
Yeah.
Is it hard when people are shooting at you? As a metaphor, hopefully, for God's sakes. Right? Why? Why is it hard?
It's the risk.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big risk.
It is, isn't it? Hopefully it's not life or death, but it feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah. It's a big deal to you, right? I could lose my job. I could lose my family, whatever it is.
I don't know. I feel like if he was alive, I'd ask him when was the point of no return for him? Because I mean, he acted like the point of no return was right. I don't know. He acted like there was no point of return, and I mean that's selfless, like as all get out.
Mm-hmm.
And like he just gave it his all. I mean, the reason for his fight, you saw it. Like even if it was 9/11, even if he did have to, like something came over that man, just to display that. Cause like the point of no return was it when he got off the airplane or the helicopter? Was it when he got shot? I want to know when that switch happened because I've never been in the position of point of no return, and I think that's a different type of human.
Do you think he thought about the risk in the heat of the moment? Do you think he was considering what's going to happen? I would guess no. There's no time. Right? There's no time. Again, sometimes this is going to happen in your life. Right? There is no time. So you rely on training. You rely on instinct. Right? You rely on the decisions that you're making at the moment. There's no time to sit and say, well, what are the risks? What are the concerns? So you better know who you are. Which is why I bring this up. It's remarkable and it's emotional and all that good stuff. But the point is here that you need to know who you are when it counts. Right? He hears the other helicopter, doesn't know a soul on board. Doesn't know those guys. Knows they're on his team. Right? Probably wouldn't even like some of them personally. Right? Okay? But they're on his team. I'm going to do anything I can for him. Having read the book, I can tell you he was incredibly unassuming. Like just not, he would go to this tremendous training, right, where they're pushing you to do all these things and stuff. And he'd be like, oh, I can't, I'll be gone for a couple weeks. I've got some training. What kind of training? Military. That's all he would say. He's doing some of the craziest, hardest things you can imagine, right? And he was like, oh, yeah, it's just part of the job. Right? This is why it's important, like as you progress, we're trying to help you all out. As you progress through SOMS and we work on our strengths and our constraints, there's always someone else in the room who's done something much harder, more challenging than you, more often than not. Right? So just consider that when you're telling the story. You know, oh, I did this thing, it was really hard. Oh yeah? I earned 2 medals of honor. Go to hell. Not really. He would never do that, but what else? What do you take away from this? How are you going to handle it when you're challenged? It's up to you guys. Questions, whatever, comments. What are we worried about in the workforce?
Fired.
Getting fired? Why?
Because you lose your source of income.
Yeah.
You lose like any way you could live really.
Yeah? What's the worst thing that can happen, Ivan?
You get fired and then the employer tells every other employer in the business not to hire you.
Okay. What's your major?
Petroleum.
Petroleum engineering. Okay. Pretty good degree. Some good technical stuff in there. Could you go get another job?
Not really.
No?
I mean,
Could you get another job?
yes.
Yeah, you can. Will it be in petroleum? Maybe not. Are you going to die? You just going to curl up in a ball and start crying? Life's hard, don't try. The main moral of SOMS. Life is hard, don't try. What happens, Ivan? What's the worst that can happen? And I'm asking, what do you think's the worst that could happen to you? You get fired, then what?
I don't know. I lose my home and get addicted to drugs.
Okay. All right. You think you're going down that road quickly?
Probably not. I'd assume I'd have savings or like a backup plan.
So, okay. So can you call Matt and have him tell you everything's going to work out?
Leave that $5 back.
You're right. Now, you're not wrong, man. You can be concerned. This is the hard part. You can be scared about losing your job. You can. Do you have buddies in the Corps? You have good friends? Couple?
I hope so.
Okay, I hope so. Can you call one of them up and be like, dude, I lost my job. I lost my home. Can I sleep on your couch? Probably. What are they going to do? Crack a beer, buy you pizza, right? Help you get another job.
Hope so.
Right? This is a little more serious. If you lose your job, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, look, it's happened to me with a family. It fucking sucks. All right? Now, I'm Dr. Payne and I kick ass. But it sucked. It was hard. All right? Sometimes you have to decide. Sometimes people decide for you. It's how you handle it. You're a smart kid. You're in petroleum engineering. Okay?
I mean, it's debatable.
Are you going to have a good degree? Just having a degree is a separator.
I mean, I haven't graduated yet either. So
All right, well, drop out. You'll be fine.
I'll just go to IT.
Okay, but can you go get a job working at night? Do we need industrial distributors right now? Yeah, it's broken, right? You can go fix it. Okay? All right, what else? Good. Are you going to be okay?
Yes.
You'll be okay. Sometimes you're going to have time to assess the risk. Sometimes you are not. Okay? What else?
I like knowing everything. Like just going into something and not being worried about not knowing something. And I know that once I go to my job, I'm worried that I know that I won't know everything. You know, so I like being the guy that's sort of on top of everything. So,
Okay, so how do you handle like last minute change or
last one change, I don't mind.
Okay.
I enjoy chaos. So
you what? You enjoy chaos?
chaos. Yeah.
So what are you worried about then? What are you worried about?
Well, I'm worried about like I like to make a good impression. So I like if there's something I don't know, I don't like having to ask questions. I like being reliant on other people. I like being able to
Okay.
do so.
Okay, well you're about to be the FNG, right? The fun new guy. This is my cousin who doesn't swear says doesn't stand for fun. Okay. You're gonna be the new guy at your workforce, right? Are you gonna know everything? Okay. No. There's a ton you're not gonna know. And here's the hard part, and it's kind of an annoying saying to me. I don't really like it. But you don't know what you don't know. That's fast. There's so much you guys don't know. So much. Okay. Now there's a lot you do know. Your major, the stuff you learned at school, you got buddies, you grew up working on vehicles, you know, or whatever your skill set is you like doing. There's a lot of things you guys know. The difference is information and knowledge. You have information at your fingertips, right? You can Google anything, right? You don't even get in fights in bars anymore. Like you argue, HB and I are getting drunk. They're like, man, Tom Petty, great. I love Tom Petty. Where's he from? I don't know. I think he's from here. Well, I think he's from here. And you Google it and you're like, oh, he's from Gainesville, Florida, right? And you don't even get in an argument. It's stupid.
Well, I mean, it's a stupid thing you can go fight over.
Right, but when you're having beers, you fight with stupid shit. You fight about stupid shit with your buddies. You get in stupid debates.
No, we just drink.
You just drink. Okay. You what? Do that sober. Okay. You're gonna have disagreements. It's okay, right? It's 100% okay. But you have information. You guys have all the information. Here's the problem. Information is just bricks. You don't know how to build a house. You don't know how to make the mortar. You don't know how to read the schematics. You don't know how to put it all together. That's the difference of where you're headed. You guys have all the information, but you need the knowledge. And you got some, right? All of you know something I don't know. All of you. I can learn from each and every one of you guys, but you better appreciate that, right? It's hard if you're Kyle doesn't like stupid questions. Guess what? They don't know. There's no such thing as stupid questions. There's only stupid answers. That's why they have questions. You haven't answered it yet. What else? What else? What do we want to know? What do we worry about? It's up to you guys. Free for all.
Are you really getting into like stupid bar fights like that? Or you,
Sure, you get in arguments with your friends.
so,
Sure.
Like, yeah, you said bar fights.
I mean, arguments. We can talk about that at the chicken sometime, offline.
Oh yeah, congratulations on.
Oh yeah, I'm an elected official now. You all have to kiss my ass and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just more work.
How much longer until you start getting angry parents yelling at you by school?
Almost immediately. Almost immediately.
Anybody come up to you about like your books in the library yet?
I got emails. We'll talk about this after class. But I got emails while I was campaigning about all kind of topics. Yeah. Yeah. So.
What's the most absurd one?
Absurd what?
Like the absurd email over different topics.
Well, here's the problem, and this is okay. We'll relate this to you guys in the workforce, and this is a problem: is passive aggressiveness. Okay. Go to the source. If someone is emailing me as a school board member or the superintendent about a book in the library, who should they talk to? The librarian or the English teacher, right? Or whoever directly deals with it. Who's dealing with their student, okay? But they don't do that. They want to go to the top or they go to the person they know or whoever's email they could find. Same thing in the workforce. Okay, if somebody has a problem with what HB is doing at work, and can I just go tell HB? Yes, I can. What am I going to do if I'm passive aggressive? I'm going to try to undermine him, or I'm going to tell his boss, or I'm going to try and get him in trouble. Right? This is not a good way to operate. If you are passive aggressive, you need to be very aware that it is a problem. It's not a way to resolve conflict. Most people do. People do it in the court, don't they? Yeah. You're on your phone. This is not how we're supposed to communicate. Okay? If I got a problem with Nolan, I should go talk to Nolan. Here's the funniest shit ever. I bring this up all the time. If somebody has a problem with you, go up and ask them about it. Right? If they're passive aggressive, have you done it, Emily? You're laughing.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
They were just kind of shocked. They were like,
It's
They didn't
so
know how to
rewarding.
handle it.
It's what?
They didn't know how to handle it.
Of course. If they are genuinely passive aggressive, and we all have times, okay? Sometimes we're maybe trying to be nice, or we're maybe trying to be subtle. There's a difference between being passive and being aggressive. But if they're passive aggressive and you just call them on it, oh my God, it's so fun. It is so fun. And just deal with it, right? If I don't like you, HB, and I tell you, I don't like you, what do you think?
I really wouldn't care what
HB doesn't give a shit. Okay? He doesn't care. Doesn't matter. All right? Part of this a little bit is male-female, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay? You know what guys think about all day long?
Sex.
Nothing. Hoover does.
Yeah.
Okay? Glad he's got his laptop open. Don't know what's on the screen. You know what we think about? Nothing. It's glorious.
Yeah.
We can think about nothing all day long and revel in it. It's awesome. Okay? Yeah, sex does come up. Okay. We're very simple creatures. Now, dudes, listen up. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. You're in the minority. There's only 3 of you in here. Okay. Women, extremely complicated. There are 25 web browsers open at once, and they are all running. Am I wrong?
Probably like multiple, like Windows 2.
All of them.
Yeah.
Guess what? Yeah, we have no earthly idea. We're so dumb. We're so simple. Y'all are extremely complicated. And you know what dudes want to do? We just want to fix the problem. We just want to help. We don't have to. They know what to do. They're okay. Just shut up and listen. Hardest skill you'll learn. Shut up and listen. They don't care. My wife doesn't want me to fix it. She wants me to shut up and listen. And I have to sit there and be like, yes, that sounds hard. How did it make you feel? It's hard, okay? Because I just want to fix it.
That was me last night.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Just shut your mouth, Nolan. She knows what to do. She doesn't need your input, okay? Hard thing to do. Okay. What else? What do you want to know? Connor.
Actually, on that topic, I remember a while ago we were talking about resumes and like how guys if they meet like 30% of criteria, they'll send
Yeah.
women need to meet like 80 to 90%.
Yep.
Now we're talking about between men and women. My question back then was how's that apply to dating?
How's it apply to dating?
Probably the good move is
How does it apply to dating?
We played a stats game.
Here's
How often do you see a guy that
Here's the only thing I think I've learned. Okay, here's the only thing I think I've learned. And again, up to you 3. Okay. If, as a dude, you're interested, okay, and because here's what women can do. Listen up, Hoover, this is important for you. Women can just say no.
Yeah, they can.
No problem whatsoever, over and over and over again. Okay, this is a biological thing. Do I have a psych major in here? Yeah, okay, good. This gets into, you know Jordan Peterson a little bit, right? Okay, all right. It gets it. This is a true thing he's talking about. This is rooted in science, okay? Women will just say no. It's biological from generations, okay? Because, right, and no matter your sexual affiliation, right, it has to do with selecting a partner. You want a good partner, okay? So you're trying to choose one. So the women are the ones that say no because the guys will just swipe right all day long, right? Okay, and I don't even know if that's the right direction, Connor. Thanks for affirming. Now I know. Okay, it's just a contact sport, right? We're shotgun approach. We're trying. Okay.
play the field.
Yeah. Women are like, no. Okay. Now, tall guy walks in, maybe. Okay. Tall guy engineering major, maybe. Right? Okay. You're not that tall, so you're sorry, buddy. Okay. I'm talking like 6'3", 6'4". Okay. Jacob Abel walks in, big beautiful idiot, isn't he? Okay. Right? Okay. Love the guy. He's in my other class. I like to pick on him. Okay, so there's differences, right? So, but here's the only thing I learned. Okay, you can't ever. You're interested. They're just testing you out. You want to see the resume, right? Well, we got to go through the resume. You can't ever do the me or your friends. You can't lose your temper. You can't you got to stay true as a normal dude. Okay, no matter how many times you get shot down. I've got buddies and stuff. A buddy of mine was in the Corps, was in the band, right? Totally chased after his wife. She just told him no forever, for years. Okay, and she's like, I probably knew I'd marry him a long time before I ever told him yes. Okay, she wanted to see how he's going to turn out. Okay, so I will tell you that as a dude, you can't lose your shit. As frustrated as you'll get, 'cause it's dumb. It's so dumb. Connor, what do you got?
I have two questions.
Yes.
First is with the Jordan Peterson thing.
Yep.
Is there that over time through selective breeding,
Yeah.
there are changes to representation through the phenotypes that causes women to be different, or is it that women are fundamentally different?
I think the answer is yes. And I think it's a bit of both, right? We're constantly evolving, right? Things are changing, but it takes a long time. It's not as rapid as we tend to think. It is multiple generations, right? But it's so much different now, I think, in recent, by recent I mean the last 30 years, of multiple revolutions, of sexual revolutions, and dudes are horny, okay? And it did, I'm gonna get fired one day. Okay? Well, so were women, but it wasn't okay to be that way. Now it is. So it's a little bit of both. Right? I don't know if that answers your question. It's making you very nervous. What's your other question?
I don't know. It doesn't answer it. But the second question.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Different moral dilemma to tee you up to change topics.
Say that again.
Different moral dilemma, perfect to shift topics.
Yeah, that's fine.
Moral dilemma. You said worried about work. What if I just built an AI robot that replaces my coworkers?
Yeah.
Copilot.
AI is a genuine concern. Artificial intelligence. Here's kind of what I think I know, okay? This is natural progression. A lot of people, including like Elon Musk and people who are studying it and working in it and all that, like Neuralink we were talking about earlier, Alexander. AI is a legitimate concern of, like the dystopian movies where the robots take over. But more realistic is job replacement. What's more realistic is robots taking over for manufacturing. And you're talking about 200,000 jobs in this country alone probably, right? So, one, get an education, which is hard and not for everybody. Two, there will be a natural adaptation. There almost always is. So when there is dramatic change, so if manufacturing jobs go away because we can have robots that do it. It's happening in restaurants right now. We don't have any workers, so people rent robots to take your food from the kitchen to the table.
I've never seen no robot.
There's not very common here, but they're a lot more common in places that have struggled longer and more with COVID restrictions. So in New York City, where they can't get employees, or it's harder to do it, or for whatever reason, you can literally rent a robot that'll take you to the table, makes it a lot easier. And if you don't like people, then you like it even better. Right? So there's a natural progression that usually happens with that. There will be some pain and it will hurt some people more than likely, but that tends to be what happens with innovation.
So the AI robot that I made to replace my coworker, can I start using it?
That's up to you, right? I mean, do you have a tie or do you have a loyalty to the coworker?
Oh, definitely not.
Okay, so for your dilemma, it's a simple answer. If you have a loyalty to the coworker, you know it's going to replace them, then you have to figure out what to do with that. Now, again, an example I tend to use is, can we figure out something else for them, right? Oftentimes when you guys are young and new, you think you can do multiple people's jobs. I'll let you try, right? Because you'll learn something. Either I'll learn that you can do more, which is great. If you can do Alexander and HB's jobs, I don't need them anymore. Now, I may get rid of them, or they might be indispensable and I can put them somewhere else. Or what you'll learn is, oh, I can do half of Alexander's job and not HB's. So I've learned that you are capable of more, right? So it depends, but oftentimes management doesn't like doing that. If you come in, you're like, I can do their jobs. They'll be like, no, you can't. Well, I'll let you try it. My opinion. Oftentimes management's like, no, you don't understand. They're indispensable. They probably are, right? But I bet you can do more. So the dilemma there is for you to figure out what's more efficient and where your loyalties lie. So to me, it sounds like yours is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, I don't like my coworker and my robot works a lot faster.
Okay, then there's no real dilemma for you, right? But if there was, then you have to figure that out.
Okay.
Good question. What else? Devin?
I was gonna say something before we change it, going back to resumes.
Okay.
Is that why you see like ugly dudes with
hot women?
What?
Yes.
Like, they literally be like, yo, I got like 30% of it, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
fuck her up.
When I did a term abroad, we're talking about this for class. I don't know how this is in Bolivia. You tell me. And some of you have lived in other countries, right? Some of you have been military. What? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Scandinavia, right? Yeah. Okay. Up north. Phenomenal. Okay. In Spain, I would see the most beautiful women who were tall, right? 5'10", 6 feet, whatever. Okay. Little dudes with short guys. I was like, right? Oftentimes, it is more, if you were the tall kid, right, and women tend to develop and grow faster and stuff, right, it tends to be more genuine. If I'm genuinely interested in somebody that's not getting the attention or they're too shy or too scared or whatever, it tends to be more genuine. If I'm the short dude and I'm willing to go up and hit on the girl that's 6'2" blonde from Norway, okay, I might be the first one to actually have the courage to do it. Right? Everybody thinks she's beautiful, or him, her, whatever. Pick your side. I don't care, right? But sometimes it's just the confidence, and sometimes it's shooting your shot, right?
Sometimes it's the money.
Sure, right? Sometimes it is the money. Okay, and that comes back to the ability to say no or not. Okay, comm major, petroleum engineer.
Yeah, you're making a shit ton more than me.
Right? Okay, but Nolan is gonna go talk to him in the bar, isn't he? Yeah, he's going to go up to the 6 foot tall blonde. And I don't know. I'm not going to say that to your girlfriend, okay? Whatever, okay, in theory. So, and this is true. This is a true statement. This is not just my opinion. Sometimes, if you're the outlier, it is more genuine. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. What else? Yes, sir.
You say almost every single class, and I'm pretty sure almost every class, that you'd be surprised how different you and your spouse could be.
Mm-hmm.
Could you expound on that? Because I laugh every time you say it.
My wife and I are totally different in almost every way. Okay, extrovert, introvert. Okay, different political affiliation. How we like. I love to go out and do things. She wants to stay home. It's the dumbest shit ever.
Does she like the Ducks?
Okay, no, God no. Okay, so there's some commonalities. Okay, there's absolutely some commonalities, right? But I get cadets who ask me a lot of times about the political thing. And I don't ever want to influence you guys. My political beliefs, I don't think any faculty ever should. But they don't all feel that way, okay? So I don't want to influence you that way. I just bring up that we have different political affiliations. And to be honest, again, if you get into it with Peterson, it is biologic. Like your leanings, left or right, are literally ingrained with who you are as a person, okay? How extreme is different, but it's often biologic as to who you are. First of all, a lot of you cannot afford to cut off half of the dating pool. Okay. So some of us, some things we have great conversations about. Some things we don't talk about very much because we are never going to agree, right? But I will tell you the little that I've learned in my very brief political career is that most of America is right down the middle. Really, you lean a little left or a little right. The extremes are very, very rare, right? and that's why we switch back and forth every 4 to 8 years. So you have to be able to talk to people with different ideologies than you. It doesn't just have to be political, right? It's the universities we like or dislike, right? It's our baseball teams. It's our heritage, right? Whatever it is. We can be very different. You have to listen and work with these people, right? It's okay that we are different. It is 100% okay. But you can't be an asshole. Or you can't be an asshole all the time, right? Because sometimes you are, and sometimes you have to be. You can't be all the time. You can't always be wrong, right? So it's strange how it works out. I have people that they don't understand it. They're like, how could you be that way? Me and my spouse are the same, and we think the same, and all this. Great, whatever works for you, right? It might be really boring. I don't know, right? But you can't just cut people off and think differently. All of you have friends, I guarantee it, who think extremely different than you. Well, I do this if you had me for 380 and stuff. We get into, and especially 281. What's the In-N-Out burger that set you off? Whataburger and In-N-Out?
In-N-Out burgers better than Whataburger, and they were wrong.
See, Connor lost his shit. Okay? Now, almost every time look, this is what happens every time. See? He says he's seeing red. He can't stand it. Almost every class there is a Texan who chooses In-N-Out. Almost invariably. Okay? Now, Connor doesn't have to. Happens all the time. Okay? Born and raised. Okay? Now listen, Connor doesn't have to like it. He doesn't. Okay? But he has to understand, and he won't, that it's okay that they feel that way. It's a taste thing. They chose it. Well, I had another kid, you would have loved it. He said it. Wes King, do you know Wes King? He's a junior. He said it tastes like a pile of heroin needles. So, In-N-Out.
You know what else has good shakes? Whataburger.
But this is why. Look. Oh, you take McDonald's? Get out, Devin. I haven't had a McDonald's hamburger in 15 or 20 years. Huh?
What meat? Only place that can compete. Only place that can compete with Whataburger is Five Guys.
You gotta know this is where people get pissy. You gotta know what to order at In-N-Out. I don't want to have to. Well, you gotta know what to order. Okay.
Why don't they put it on the menu?
Exactly. You know Torchy's has a secret menu?
Well, Torchy's is garbage.
Torchy's
too.
also trash. Hey,
What? Fuego or Mad Taco?
fucking gazpacho food.
What? Where do you get your tacos? Where do you get your tacos?
When I get my tacos,
Yeah.
fucking taco de Orlando's down over in Bryan.
Oh, baby!
Fair enough. Okay.
Food trucks, that's my best tacos.
Usually,
I
yeah.
don't want to hear a word of English coming out of my kitchen.
Mom, but most of you are in the Corps. Okay. Do you see how differently you are? You're all Aggies. You're all in the Corps, most of you. Okay. But even that, they go to A&M, right? Similar majors. But this is how different we all are. All of us. Okay. So that's what you have to deal with. All right. And God bless Connor's conviction. In the firefight of hamburgers, okay, he's gonna fight to the death. And his tacos too, apparently. Okay. And here's the hard part for Connor. He's got to appreciate that people are different. You don't have to agree, but you have to appreciate that we don't all agree. Okay. It's going to be different. And welcome to the workforce wherever you go. Okay. I don't want to hold you over. Go be awesome. Have a wonderful week.
Get on your class.
I actually